What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy, joined today by the man, Brian DeGennaro. How we doing today, Brian?
Fantastic, Pat. How are you?
Listen, I can't complain as usual. We have a very interesting topic to talk about today, right? The Yankees' little left field position battle that they have going on. But before we get too into that, you guys know the deal. Be sure, like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season, so stay tuned for that content. But left field positional battle. This is kind of the thing that we see usually in spring training, right?
Yeah.
And we've kind of come to a point in the Yankee season where we're seeing it just about mid-season. And it's kind of interesting. It's fun to see only because the Yankees are doing well. If the Yankees were doing poorly right now, this would be the last thing you want to see.
Yeah.
But let's kind of preface the situation before we kind of make our predictions on kind of who's going to run away with the starting left field spot.
Sure.
But going into the season, Clint Frazier was kind of announced as the Yankees starting left fielder. Obviously, we knew Brett Gardner was going to get some playing time out there too. Mike Tauchman was also an option. Tauchman gets traded, and then Hicks gets hurt in center field, likely out for the season. So then Brett Gardner kind of takes over in center, and that leaves Miguel Andujar coming up. And now Clint and Andujar are kind of competing for that left field spot. Clint was dealing with neck things for kind of like the past week or so Andujar was getting the bulk of time out there. But now that I think Clint is back and kind of healthy, and showing that he can kind of produce a little bit, it's anybody's position to win here. I could see Andujar getting it. I could see Clint getting it. What do you think is kind of going to be the end result of this?
Yeah, I think that we can all agree that it's Clint's spot to lose, really. And
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, he's kind of already lost it. The fact that there even is a positional battle at this point.
And rightfully so.
Yeah. Oh no, he deserves to lose it. He's been terrible this year.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that after having about a week off or so with the neck injuries, maybe that'll reset him a little bit. He did go, I think, 3 for 4 the other day, the last game. So it's good to see him actually getting some hits. So if he can get his back going again, I think he's absolutely the starting left fielder because he's going to be worlds better than Andujar defensively for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that he still presents like a little bit more upside offensively than Andujar does. The thing is, if Andujar starts raking and starts hitting like 300 and is back to his 2018 form, it's going to be really tough to justify having Clinton there over him. So we really need this is a really pivotal moment for I think the 2021 Yankees. Like we need to see who's going to be that starting left fielder going into the playoffs, and it's really up to Clint to win it back.
No, it's crazy that we say that, right? It's a crucial point for the 2021 Yankees, simply because we don't know who our starting left fielder is, especially going into a postseason game.
Yeah.
It's tough because obviously we know I'm a huge Clint guy, love Clint Frazier. But like I mentioned before, it's kind of come to a point where I don't know how much we could defend him anymore.
Yeah.
Simply because when your performance on the field doesn't really match the expectations, it's tough to keep defending the guy time after time. However, if he starts to turn things around like we've kind of seen as of late, the narrative can change very quickly.
Absolutely.
Especially because, like we said, Miguel Andujar isn't necessarily like a fantastic left fielder. He obviously provides just about, I would say, the same amount of production, a little bit less if Clint is on his A game offensively in the outfield. Defensively, he's levels below Clint. I don't know if the advanced metrics really prove that, but I think it's safe to say Miguel Andujar is a much worse left fielder than Clint Frazier would be. But also what I think the key is that maybe you want Miguel Andujar to get more consistent at-bats in AAA, right, and kind of build up his trade value once again. Because I can't really see the Yankees sending Clint down and going that same route with him. Right. Obviously, Clint would be able to acquire a little bit more trade value for himself just because he's a much better fielder, and an NL team would find him pretty attractive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think if the Yankees could kind of send Andujar down and have him just rake down there, it might be a little bit better of an opportunity for him than if you were to just stay up in the majors and ride the bench. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for now, that's not really an issue because Stanton's hurt, so you can DH.
But Stanton's going to be back.
Yeah, Stanton's going to be back pretty soon.
Probably today.
Oh, really? Is it that soon? I didn't realize.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so then never mind. That doesn't make any sense. But still, I think you make a really good point. Like, he needs to get consistent at-bats because he really hasn't been good offensively for the past couple of years. And a lot of that has to do with injury. But he needs to get those consistent reps. And he's not going to get that at the major league level. Not when he's battling with Clint.
But this this is the really tough situation because I think this has kind of resulted in a lot of Yankees offensive players regressing, right? You look at Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier. These are two guys who have kind of been in the same situation over the past couple of years, right? Huge players with huge offensive capabilities, but they've never really been able to get it going in the major leagues simply because they've never been able to get those consistent at-bats because there's always been someone blocking them. Andujar got that his first year, but then he was blocked by Gio. Clint kind of got that on and off within the past couple years, but then he was blocked by Gardner or Hicks or whoever else was out there. And it's kind of funny that they're kind of now in the same position battling for that starting spot. But as of right now, I think as far as who's winning, if there's even a winner in this situation, I don't know. But I think right now, it's like you said, it's Clint's spot to lose. I think it would take Clint to just be consistently bad as he was in the beginning of the year with kind of no signs of improvement. I think that's the only way he loses his spot to Andujar. And that's not to knock Andujar. I think it just shows how important Clint is to this team.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, Andujar has not played well either. Like he's batting, I think like 190 with.
I think low 200s.
Oh, is it has it gone up a little bit?
I think
but
so,
still,
yeah.
like he hasn't really been getting extra base hits. He does not look good at the plate. So
not 2018 Andujar at all.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
No.
So that's the thing. Right now, I feel like they're kind of at the same level offensively, and I'd rather have Clint because I feel like he's got higher upside, and defensively he's way better. So I think Clint is clearly winning at this point. But the fact that it's even an issue is on Clint. He has not performed to the level that he was supposed to. So, he's got to turn it around and fast.
Now, let me ask you one question before we do wrap things up today.
Ask away.
So as far as we both kind of think Clint is going to walk away from this little battle that's going on as the Yankees starting left fielder, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I think he turns it around.
I'd have to agree. But in that case, what do we see Andujar kind of doing in the future? Like, do we see him kind of just being like a career minor leaguer, going back down in AAA, kind of trying to earn another spot that way? Because he's not going to be the full-time DH, like we mentioned. Stanton is in that role. There's not really another outfield spot for him. He's not playing in the infield. So do the Yankees just try to trade him for anything at this point? Does he just rot in AAA? What do we think happens?
I think the tough part about this is the fact that he's shown that he can't produce when he's not getting consistent at-bats. So, like, I think he could be a good utility player because he can play several different positions, but a utility player doesn't usually play every day. And I think that he's the kind of guy that kind of has to play every day to keep his bat consistent. And I think that's going to hurt him in the long run. I think that he's going to end up being one of those AAA guys that just doesn't really ever make it. And I hate to see that because he's got a lot of talent. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He looked so good in 2018. He was so good for us.
So one of the Yankees' best hitters by far.
He carried the team in 2018 practically. So like
with Stanton,
it's so hard. But I don't see him finding success. And maybe it's on the Yankees. Maybe they didn't put him in the best position. He's not the only one. Like we said with Clint. Clint went through something similar. We've seen with other guys coming up recently that just haven't gotten the consistent at bats.
Yeah.
And, it's really detrimental to their development. And I think at this point it might be too late for him. And that's the
I'll
way
tell you
I
what.
see it.
I'll tell you what. I think this whole conversation would be completely different if the DH was still in the National League because I think there would be a ton of National League teams knocking on the Yankees' door for Andujar because
Very
not
true.
only, like you said, he's a versatile fielder. While he's not that good at these spots, he can still play third, first, left. And then he would also be able to be used as a primary DH for a National League team. So maybe the Yankees are hoping next season the National League implements that. Maybe you build up his trade value this year, and then in the offseason you can make a deal with the National League team for him. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I think the bottom line here is both of us do think that Clint is kind of going to take his spot once again as the starting left fielder. I think it's going to be interesting, though. Right now, I guess it's anybody's game with Clint having a slight advantage. But that is going to wrap things up for today. Appreciate everyone for stopping by. You guys know the deal. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications for more. We're going live before and after every single Yankees game this season. Stay tuned for that content. Also, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Peace.